Welcome to Delta History, where the battlefield speaks and the truth cuts through the fog of war. Tonight, we bring you a story that blurs the line between myth and reality, a tale whispered across the trenches of Ukraine and spoken in hushed voices, even by the most hardened soldiers. This is the story of the Ukrainian Ghost Sniper Unit, a mysterious group of unseen hunters feared by Russian troops, and now remembered for a single, almost impossible shot fired from a distance of 2,710 meters away. This is not just another chapter of war, but a chilling reminder that patience, precision, and terror can all be wrapped into one bullet. In the chaos of the Ukraine-Russia war, myths are born almost daily. Stories spread faster than bullets, carried through muddy trenches and whispered among exhausted men who cling to fragments of hope or fear. Yet the legend of the Ghost Snipers is more than just myth. They are a small, highly trained unit that operates in silence, their movements unpredictable and their identities concealed even from most within their own army. Some soldiers call them phantoms, others executioners from the shadows, but among Russian troops, they are known by one name only: the Hunters. These men live in the margins of battle, unseen but always present, shaping the fear of their enemies long before they ever pull the trigger. What makes them so deadly is not only their skill with a rifle but their patience. Unlike artillery or tanks that roar across the battlefield with brute force, snipers wait. They become invisible, lying still for hours or even days, buried in camouflage among broken fields, dense forests, or the ruins of bombed-out villages. Every blade of grass, every shadow, every fragment of rubble becomes part of their disguise. Their breathing slows, their heartbeat steadies, and in silence they wait for the perfect moment. When that moment finally comes, they strike with a single shot. A shot that can change the course of a battle, a campaign, or even the morale of an entire army. One cold morning near the Eastern Front, Russian troops believed they were safe. Hidden behind dugouts and armored vehicles, they advanced carefully, convinced that Ukrainian resistance had retreated. What they didn't know was that a ghost sniper team had been watching them for 2 long days. Through the magnified glass of a precision rifle scope, the sniper locked onto a high-value target, a Russian commander giving orders near the tree line. The distance was staggering, 2,710 meters, almost 3 kilometers. For most snipers, such a shot would be considered impossible. The bullet would be at the mercy of wind, temperature, humidity, even the rotation of the earth itself. But the ghost snipers calculated every factor with cold precision. The spotter whispered the final adjustments, the sniper steadied his breath, and then silence. A finger squeezed the trigger. Seconds passed like eternity until the Russian commander suddenly collapsed, struck by a bullet from a range so far his men could hardly comprehend it. Panic erupted, disbelief spread, and fear took hold. The hunters had struck. The news of that single kill traveled faster than any bullet. Russian soldiers, already weary from relentless drone strikes and artillery barrages, now faced an invisible enemy they could neither see nor fight. Every step outside a trench felt like walking into the crosshairs of death. Even armored vehicles no longer felt safe. Commanders hesitated to stand in the open, terrified that they might already be marked by unseen eyes. Fear became the ghost sniper's most effective weapon, and they wielded it with absolute mastery. To understand the weight of this kill, one must consider the science behind it. A shot from 2,710 meters is not just marksmanship, it is art fused with mathematics. The bullet would have traveled for more than 9 seconds before reaching its target, during which it was vulnerable to wind drift, gravity, air pressure, and even the subtle shift of the Earth's rotation, known as the Coriolis effect. Yet in this case, every calculation was flawless. The rifle, believed to be a Ukrainian-modified Barrett or the formidable Snipex Alligator, fired a round specifically designed for extreme long-range engagements. It was not luck. It was discipline, training, and an almost supernatural focus honed by years of war. But the role of the ghost snipers extends far beyond the battlefield physics of a bullet. Snipers are instruments of psychological warfare. One well-placed shot does not simply remove an enemy from combat. It freezes entire units in place. Soldiers hesitate to move, communications slow, morale shatters. The ghost snipers have perfected this form of invisible warfare. Their goal is not just to kill, but to make the enemy live under the constant weight of fear, the knowledge that death could come at any second, from anywhere. Russian troops, terrified by this unseen threat, sometimes preferred the thunder of artillery to the silence of a sniper's rifle. At least with artillery, death felt indiscriminate. With a sniper, it was personal, intimate, and inescapable. Stories from the front lines tell of Ukrainian morale soaring whenever the ghost snipers are nearby. Soldiers speak of the comfort of knowing that unseen allies watch over them, striking at the enemy's leaders with unerring precision. Russian prisoners of war describe platoons refusing to advance, paralyzed by the thought that a ghost sniper might be waiting. Some have admitted openly that they feared the snipers more than drones or tanks because a sniper's bullet was quiet, sudden, and deliberate. That is the level of psychological power a single shot can command. This war, at its core, is not simply about weapons of mass destruction, armored columns, or aerial dominance. It is a war of attrition, a slow grinding down of the enemy, piece by piece, stripping away their morale and exhausting their will to fight. Snipers are a crucial tool in this strategy. Every kill is not just one soldier removed, but a ripple that spreads through the enemy ranks, magnifying the fear and hesitation of those left behind. That is why the ghost snipers matter. They are far more than numbers. They are a legend woven into the fabric of this war. Desperate to counter them, Russian forces have launched artillery barrages on suspected sniper nests, deployed drones to sweep fields, and even sent in specialized counter-sniper teams. Yet each attempt ends the same. By the time Russian troops react, the ghost snipers have already melted back into the shadows, leaving behind only silence and fear. Every failed attempt only strengthens the myth, and the myth itself becomes a weapon more powerful than any rifle. The 2,710-meter shot now joins the Hall of Sniper Legends. It recalls the icy forests where Finnish sniper Simo Heiha struck fear into Soviet troops during the Winter War. It echoes the streets of Stalingrad, where Vasily Zaitsev became a symbol of Soviet defiance against Nazi Germany. It mirrors the deserts of Iraq and Afghanistan, where modern snipers from the US, Canada, and the UK push the limits of distance and precision. But this Ukrainian sniper, with a single bullet, has written a new chapter, one that belongs to the 21st century battlefield, a place where technology and human willpower collide. The legacy of the 2,710-meter shot is not just about the distance or the precision. It is about what it represents in modern warfare. In an age dominated by drones, missiles, satellites, and high-tech machines, this single kill proved that one person with a rifle, patience, and skill can still dominate the battlefield. It is a reminder that war is not solely the domain of machines, but of human willpower, discipline, and the ancient art of waiting for the perfect moment. This is the story of the Ukrainian Ghost Sniper Unit, hunters of shadows, invisible executioners, and legends of this war. From 2,710 meters away, they struck fear deep into the heart of the Russian army, and with each silent shot, they remind the world that even the most powerful armies can be undone by unseen hands. You've been watching Delta History, where the battlefield speaks and the truth cuts through the fog of war. Until next time, stay vigilant.